Seriously.
Yeah, I'm curious. So you guys aren't from here. Where are you from? Like, David, where are you from?
We're both from Minnesota.
Okay.
Southern rural Minnesota.
What part of Minnesota? Like what town?
The town we grew up in was Waseca, between Mankato and Rochester.
Okay.
South of the Twin Cities. It's rural.
It's just a normal place, right? Just a regular.
Yeah, small town.
It's
Right.
Yeah, it's a small
Yeah.
town. There's not much going on there.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
So you both grew up in the same town.
Yeah.
So how long have you known each other?
Let's see,
I should have done this math.
Yeah, I was 14 years ago.
There you go.
Okay. So you met in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember meeting? Like, how'd you guys meet?
Yeah. It was
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
in high school you have class, right?
Yeah, we were
yeah.
both in the marching band and both played clarinet, so that was where we met. I remember walking into the first band practice or whatever in
Right.
the summertime,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, joining marching band, it's so exciting. And then David was like the big tall guy with the crazy long hair, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool.
Right. That's awesome. What did you guys play?
Clarinet.
Oh, you just said clarinet, right? Right. Well, anyway, so you were in Minnesota. So was it pretty rural where you grew up, or did you grow up in town?
It was. I mean, we were in town. It was
It's
like
a town of like 8,000 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
8,000.
Right. So, what you clearly left? Why'd you leave Minnesota? Why'd you leave your town?
It's too cold.
It's too cold.
That's the main reason.
The main reason, really.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of stereotypical. Right?
Yeah, but it's true. It's
Right.
like
It's horrible.
it's depressing because if
Yeah.
for like 6 months out of the year you can't go outside
Okay.
and enjoy it, and we're really like outdoorsy people, so
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
The last year we lived there was a blizzard on like May 5th, I think. And we just were both like,
Okay.
we can't do this anymore.
Like a blizzard.
A blizzard.
You're not talking about like
not a
flakes of
snowstorm.
snow.
No, like wind and
Right.
Like you
everything.
can't drive safely.
Right, yeah, in May. And just the whole
Right.
state, everybody was just depressed.
Yeah.
It's just not a fun scene anymore.
So why'd you leave? Oh, you said it was because it's too cold. But then
Yeah.
where'd you
I
go?
mean, we also wanted like
Yeah.
just to get out, just have adventure and be somewhere
See
else
what the
and
rest
not
of the
be
country's
not
Right.
be in the place we had lived our whole lives. So
Right. Yeah.
we
You're kind
went-
of like, I'm out of here. You know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so
Yes.
like he said, his family lives in New Jersey, so we went and we got married in Minnesota. We
Right.
graduated college, we got married, and then we got out of there like less than a month after we got married, and we stayed with his family for a little while in New Jersey, and then we
Yeah.
ended up living in Easton, Pennsylvania, which is right on the border of New Jersey.
Okay, sure.
Which is a cool little town.
Yeah.
And we stayed there for 3 years.
Okay. Yeah. What was that town like? I mean,
It's a cool place. It's like
it's a good city.
It's got
Yeah.
how much? What's the population there? It's like
Well,
25,000. It's kind of similar to
20-some
Alton.
Yeah, it's 20,000, but like Alton,
Right.
it has other little towns connected to it, so it feels bigger than
Right.
just like a 20,000
Yeah,
town.
and they've got like a nice, downtown with a cool farmers market, and
Right.
it's right on the Delaware River. So
yeah. Yeah, it's really beautiful there. I
Yeah.
mean, there's parts of New Jersey there in Pennsylvania.
oh yeah, there's a lot
Right.
of great like hiking out there. and
Right,
everything.
yeah.
Appalachia.
But then you continued to travel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Where'd you go? Or where'd you
Let's see.
travel?
So we went to Europe after
after
that.
after Easton was Europe. We were in Poland for 3 months, and then we were in Romania for 2 months.
Right.
And we did woofing, where you live with host families and you
Right.
farm and
Yeah. So I just found out about
Yes,
that.
I know.
You know.
Just repeated, yeah.
But
You,
but seriously, like you farmed in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Or you worked and lived on farms in Europe, right?
Yeah, it was really cool. It
Yeah.
was definitely
It was wild.
Yeah, totally like a learning experience,
Right,
and
yeah.
definitely pushes you out of your comfort zone, just being
Sure.
in like other
Yes.
people's space, and
Right.
being with host families, and in being in a totally different culture on top of that.
Right,
But,
yeah.
we learned so much, and it was a really cool, unforgettable experience.
And
definitely.
why did you choose to tour Europe as farmers?
Well, we wanted to learn about farming, so it was kind
Yeah.
of like a way where we can get this hands-on experience,
Right.
and then also be having a traveling experience at the same time.
Yeah.
And also just because it's a lot cheaper to travel when you're volunteering and getting
Yes.
Right.
you're working in exchange for room and board and
Right.
food. So it's a way to be able to do it long term without,
Right.
spending all your money.
Yeah.
And as you were pointing out, you get to live in Europe.
Right,
It's like-
exactly.
so you didn't want to go to the tourist
No, I
towns.
didn't want to do
and-
the Western Europe, London and Madrid and all that. We wanted
Right.
to. I don't, we don't hear a lot about Eastern Europe. Well, now we do a little bit, but we don't know a lot about Poland or Romania as a country really, and it was a way to just experience something totally new that we didn't really have any preconceptions of or
Right.
anything like that.
And so did you like what surprised you about the culture there, like living there or living and traveling through there?
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's easier to travel, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, just how much everything is so connected. Even in these, we're in these tiny little rural hamlets of
20 people.
Yeah, 20 people
Yeah.
or something, or just scattered farms and villages, and then you could get a bus to Krakow 3 times a day, and
Oh,
just
really?
how connected and how easy it is
Yeah.
to travel from place to place in Europe. That was really oh.
My bad.
Let's see. So yeah, we were living in Easton, and we had been at the same jobs for a couple of years, and we're just kind of feeling like it wasn't, like it was kind of a dead end. It wasn't very interesting for us anymore, and so we wanted to just do something new and experience another part of the world.
Yeah.
I guess we were in high school and then we were in college and then we just started working, at these steady jobs, and then we saw volunteering in Eastern Europe specifically as just an opportunity to
Right.
leave the country but actually be able to afford it at the same time. And then we were also interested in the farming, so it was kind of a way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
And not just travel, but live there.
Right. I
Like,
mean,
be
yeah,
able to get to it.
it wasn't. Yeah, traveling sounds luxurious. This wasn't
Yeah.
luxurious.
Right.
It's very
What
exciting.
about the
though.
food?
Oh, I really like Polish food.
Yeah,
We're
me
both
too.
Vegetarians, and they had a lot of really good,
Yeah.
healthy and vegetarian food. My favorite thing that I feel like needs to be spread to the rest of the world is called zapiekanki, and
Zapiekanki.
they're like these little open-faced sandwiches where I guess they're kind of big open-faced sandwiches that are covered with cheese and sauce and vegetables and all sorts of different toppings that you get at little roadside or stands or squares in the city.
Yeah.
And I
street
feel
food.
like that needs to catch on. Another thing that surprised me about the
Yeah.
food in Poland was that ice cream is
Oh,
huge there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Every teeny tiny, you think of more hot climates would have
Yeah.
more ice cream shops, but just every little town had an ice cream shop with these wonderful flavors and really super delicious ice cream.
Like what kind? Because we have really good ice cream.
We do,
Yeah,
yeah. I love the custard in this region.
Yeah,
That was welcome.
they would, they would have Ferrero flavored or
Yeah.
Nutella or
There's like a
lemon
lemon-
cream
lemon
and
curd.
stuff like that.
Well, so after
know.
traveling, how'd y'all get to Alton?
We moved more after that.
Yep.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
So when we came back from Europe, we ended up in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
And we only lived there for about 9 months.
It was kind of closing your eyes and pointing as far as choosing somewhere lived.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte,
Yeah.
North
Yeah,
Carolina.
I grew up I grew up in Bristol, Virginia,
Right.
East Tennessee, and Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So we were always somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Asheville,
yeah.
but Charlotte was always the big city,
Yep.
Yeah, it's big.
So it was definitely the big city for us. We had never lived in
Yeah.
a city that big before.
Uh-huh.
kind of tame though,
Yeah, yeah.
It's I don't know. I feel like it's a little more wild than any of the other towns I've lived in. Oh,
really?
Like Mankato,
Yeah.
Easton,
Okay.
or Alton.
Yeah, Charlotte's very I don't know, everybody works for the banks and Wells Fargo
Right.
and stuff like that. And it
Yeah.
was it definitely lacked culture more than we thought it was going to
Right.
for how big of a city it was. And
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons why we only stayed
Right.
9 months. But I had a job that I really loved there where I worked at the, it was called Discovery Place Science, and it's a science museum for families and kids.
Oh, okay.
And so I learned a lot working there that I was able to bring to help us in our toy business.
Sure, yeah.
Because we had all sorts of cool, science toys and educational tools and stuff like that there.
Okay. So you lived in Charlotte. Where'd you travel from there?
Let's see. After Charlotte was Charlotte Courthouse,
Right.
and that was in Virginia.
Okay.
No, we were under an MOA, a military operations area. Military operations area, where
Right.
these fighter jets would fly probably 100 meters above the ground and just crack the sky with sound and just deafen you. And it wasn't the peaceful serenity we were
Right.
hoping for on
Yeah.
the farm.
Right. So you were going to farm in Virginia, and then where'd you go from there?
From there we came to
That was
Alton.
Alton finally.
Okay, so why Alton? Like, so you've lived in Europe. I mean, you traveled through Europe for a while. You lived in North Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I guess you're on the border of New Jersey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Virginia. I mean, these are all cool places, you know. Like, why Alton? How did Alton come to be?
Well, after being on the East Coast and in the
Yeah.
South and stuff for a while, we decided we wanted to go back to the Midwest where we were,
Okay, yeah.
born and raised, but not back to Minnesota where it's so cold.
Uh-huh.
But we just felt like we missed like the Midwestern culture sort of.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we just did a lot of like online research and looked at different places, and there were kind of these different criteria that we wanted to fit, where it's like, well, we'd like to be near a bigger city so we can have access to the cool cultural things, but not in a big city, but not in a suburb either, because we want it to be a town, that has a downtown and everything. And we just kind of found Alton through that research and came and visited and thought it was really cool.
Okay, so Alton was near a big city, like St. Louis,
Yeah.
in the Midwest. What were your other criteria that you were looking for?
Well, not as north as Minnesota because it's cold.
Right. Not as north.
So better climate
Yeah.
than Minnesota.
Alton's in a nice zone. It's like the zone cut off, like the climate zone is like at Springfield, and we're just south
Right.
of that. So we're a little warmer than a lot of
Yeah.
Illinois even.
Right.
So that was positive too.
Yeah.
I love being near the river and being,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
just, it's a very cool biome or whatever.
Yeah.
Having all the cliffs and everything like that, that was definitely,
Right.
we liked living next to the river in Pennsylvania, so it was kind of felt like, that's kind of like something that makes us feel at home, is being next to a big river.
Right. So why did you decide to make the commitment here, like to actually move here?
Well, we were also, so after the farm plan sort of fell through,
Yeah.
we were thinking, okay, what's another way we can make a living that we would enjoy? And,
Yeah.
we figured we should open a toy store. We love toys, we love kids, we've got
Yeah.
different, retail experience and stuff. So we thought, well, Alton doesn't have a toy store, but they've got a cool downtown and they've got a lot of people, so maybe they
Right.
can support one. So that was kind of,
Yeah.
another big selling point.
We love you did that. Seriously. Like, it's amazing to have someone come in and see that and make it happen.
Yeah, thank you.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
And we were able to find a house that we could afford. That was nice.
yeah, affordable-
that was a huge
Affordable
selling
housing
point.
is definitely an asset.
Yeah.
Versus many other places. Versus
Right.
Maryland or Ohio or so many cities.
Right.
Alton is much cheaper.
Like, this is still accessible here.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you chose to start a toy store. Right. And you had never run a store before yourself?
No, not rent a store. No.
Yeah. So how'd you that's a pretty big leap to
Yeah.
move to a new town and start a storefront together,
Yep.
right? You both do it? I mean, you
Yeah,
both
we
work
both-
Yeah,
together?
it's
We
both
both
of our
do it.
full-time job.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. Yeah, especially being new to a town too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We chose Alton we just had a good feeling about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we were just confident in ourselves. Just, I don't know,
Yeah.
all the different experiences that we've had and our interests and stuff like that, it just kind of felt like it was saying, like, open a toy store. This is something you guys would be good at. And
Right.
I think, our families might have thought we were a little bit crazy, like
definitely.
moving to a new place and starting a store. They're like, oh my gosh, you've moved
Right.
so many times in the past. Is this actually
Right.
going to stick? And are you going to stick with it? And
Yeah.
At the
I don't know,
same-
it just felt right.
At the same time, we were sick. We were sick of moving around everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
it wears you down, and
Right.
we wanted to start a family, and we wanted to own a house, and
Yeah.
so starting a business in town too. We were already committing to anchoring ourselves, so
Right.
another anchor really wasn't an issue there.
Right. What's it like owning a store downtown though? Now that you've been doing it for a year and a half, I mean, you have neighbors.
Well, we've been open for not a year yet,
We've
Is that
been here
right?
a year and a half. The store's been here,
since July.
yeah, just since July.
Yep.
Wow.
We're new.
You're so new.
Yep.
We are.
Yeah. I mean, it's working out. I mean,
It is.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I think we'll be able to stick around.
No,
How things are going.
definitely. Yeah,
Right.
No, it exceeded my expectations.
But
Sure.
it's been a lot of
Yeah.
fun. I just love getting to know our regulars and seeing the same,
Yeah.
seeing families come in and kids come in and
Right.
just getting to play with kids and
Right.
bring fun and toys into their lives. It's like a total dream job.
Right, yeah. And for any family with young kids, that's the place you go, is the toy store. I mean, maybe the park, but man, to kill an hour, with two young kids.
Definitely.
And it's funny because sometimes people come in and they're like, "Oh, is it all right? He's gonna tear the place up," and we're like, "Yeah, that's what."
Right.
We get bored when nobody brings kids in.
Yeah.
Those are the sad days.
Yeah.
Was there a time when you felt home here? I mean, you've been here a year and a half. Was there a time when you you went from being a new resident to wow, this is home? Anything like that happened for you?
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint the time, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's definitely home to us now.
Right.
The amount of support that we've received from people who live in town,
Yeah.
just at the business.
Sure.
I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint though.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but I think since opening the store, we feel very much a part of the community because we're just, we're out there and we're with the
Yeah.
public and,
Right.
just getting to know people and everything.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that we came across when we were just researching Alton was the Small Business Revolution show. So I remember sitting on our couch in Virginia and watching all the
Yeah,
small
right.
businesses in Alton get their makeovers and stuff. And that was definitely, as a prospective small business owner, it was like, oh, people, are coming out for this and care about it. And
Right.
it was definitely encouraging. And then I think as we came here and got to know people, I feel like we just really clicked on a personal level with a lot of people, and just to feel, like David was saying before, kind of a genuine kindness and welcoming, where, some people it's like when you, I don't know, are new in town or come to their place, they're not, they're not that welcoming or that excited to have
Sure,
you, but
yeah.
but people were very, just seemed excited to have people
Right.
have us moving here, and it felt like a place that we could actually put down roots and raise a family and stuff.
Right. Yeah.